Patience is not about waiting, but rather the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting, which I think is something that a lot of people struggled with this next deck that we're going to be talking about. It seemed like from day one it was fraught with mishaps, misprints, and misspellings from the day that we saw it appear on Kickstarter. But if you stuck around for the entire year wait that it took to get this deck, I think you'll agree with me in saying that it was well worth that wait. So stick around, because today we're diving into the True Black Tarot. Hey Tarot Tribe, it's Dustin from A Modern Metaphysic Man, and today I thought we could hang out and take a trip through the True Black Tarot by Arthur Wang. This deck is rather notorious now, but not for any bad reason amongst the community, because it was just fraught and met with every unfortunate circumstance you could possibly think of when it comes to creating an independent deck. Arthur did an amazing job at communicating all along the way whenever these roadblocks appeared, and although it took a year for this deck to get in our hands, I have to say that I think it was well worth a wait, and I think you'll agree with me. I do want to say bravo to Arthur, who was impeccably professional, communicative about every issue that arose all along the process, and really stuck to his conviction of delivering an absolute perfect masterpiece, which I think he definitely achieved. As always, in the description box below, I'll put links as to where you can find this deck and learn more about its creator, along with my social media links and a link to my website where you can book a personal reading. So be sure to check that out at the end of the video. So yeah, let's dive into the True Black Tarot. As you can see, it comes in this really lovely box that is nice and sturdy. It is spot printed, I believe is the technical term for this sort of stamp procedure that picks up the light just amazingly. So as you can see, it has this really cool sort of astronomical motif going on. It does come with a nice little white book, and on the inside cover it reads, "It is only in darkness that we see the stars," which is one of my all-time favorite quotes, so I love that. The little white book is nice. It's nothing too crazy. I would love to see a full guidebook created for this deck, but it is it has your standard divinatory meanings, as well as a brief description of the artwork, the artist's intention, and then some background about the symbolism and art chosen for each card, which is really cool. I do appreciate that. It doesn't, however, have a little section about Arthur himself, which I thought was interesting because I always love reading the little about me sections. So, you know, it would be cool to see a really like fully fleshed out companion guidebook to this, with like maybe like sketches and like behind the scenes sort of stuff about the creation of this deck, because it is so unique and it's like nothing else out there on the tarot marketplace, which is just it's amazing, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So without further ado, let's talk about the cards themselves. The inside of the box is just empty, plain black, nothing crazy there. The cards themselves do come already gilt, so they're gilt in a flat matte black, which I really like. The backs are really nice. They have, again, that nice sort of spot printing technique where you get the reflective quality of it. And as far as the size goes, they are a standard tarot size, as you can see. So this is a card from the Cosmic Tarot, which was printed by AGM. So the cardstock itself is really nice and thick. It's not super bendy, and the finish of the cards are that really nice rose petal quality that we see in things like the Brady Tarot and other decks that are more contemporary. So as always, we'll do a nice little walkthrough of the deck now, and we'll come back at the end to talk about it and pick out some of my favorite cards and talk about those. So yeah, without further ado, the True Black Tarot, a finely crafted artifact is what it has underneath there. So that is The True Black Tarot by Arthur Wang. It is a masterpiece. I don't really have other words for this deck. As you can see, it does come with an additional card along with the title card, so there's 80 cards. The Anant card is similar in meaning to the Wheel of Fortune, which is interesting because in this deck, the Wheel of Fortune has been replaced by a card entitled, give me 1 second to find it, entitled Destiny, which I did find to be an interesting change, right? From your traditional. Now, as you can see in a lot of the cards, especially the major arcana, there is a lot of that sort of that stamp printing quality, and then of course all of the titles are done in the same way, which is really lovely because it really actually brings light into the cards. These cards are they're exquisite. The use of light and the play of light and shadow, as well as the color palette of these really warm tones, contrasted with these really stark grayish whites, is just masterfully executed, and you can tell that Arthur is a master of his craft as a graphic designer and artist and illustrator, which is really wonderful. All of the court cards in this deck I absolutely adore. I think they really embody and depict what the sort of traditional meaning of those cards are. And that being said, the deck does follow a really traditional RWS sort of stint. The minors in the cards are a little bit more pippish, but they still have, you know, a lot of traditional symbology. Here we have the 7 of coins with the scales. The 10 of coins is a little bit different, so if you're an intuitive reader, you know, it may not align with what you're traditionally used to seeing, but I still think it's all there, which I think is wonderful. And there's so much like hidden symbolism throughout all of these cards that, you know, you could really dive into these pretty deeply, I think. I really, really like that the sort of aspect or element of the suits is really apparent, right? Air being swords, you really still get that sense of it through all of the cards. I mean, the quality of light and the contrast is just, it's masterful. This is unlike anything else out there when it comes to tarot right now. And, you know, I personally am a huge fan of, you know, contrast and the concepts of darkness and light and things like that. So this deck was right up my alley. You know, a lot of the cups I really, really still enjoy. This 10 of cups is really wonderful. Our 9 of cups, absolutely beautiful. The one card, the singular card in the entire deck that stands out to me that doesn't quite match the rest is the 8 of cups, and it just feels a little unfinished. The quality of light isn't quite as well done as the other, and maybe it's because of all of this brightness up at the top, which a lot of the other ones don't have, right? And this little squid is super adorable, but feels more cartoony compared to the rest of, you know, the renderings within this deck. So, you know, that one definitely stood out to me as one that I was kind of like, I do love the 2 of cups. This sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? This meeting of your other, right? It doesn't always have to be romantic, but, you know, meeting that person who has a cup that matches yours, I just loved. I do like how in the wands he uses, you know, sort of different elements. So he kind of has a staff here and a branch and a spear, and he's got flagpoles in the back of the 6. You know, so it's uniform, but it's not, you know, boring. I love this 2 of wands. I just think it's so perfect for that, making a choice and having the whole world, you know, right there for your taking. The major Arcana cards in this deck are exquisite. Again, they feature a lot more of that stamp technique, which is just really wonderful. They are all absolutely beautiful. The Sun card is gorgeous, and look, we have no creepy baby, which is awesome. I do love the Moon card, and the masterful foreshortening of that hand is just breathtaking. The Death card is just gorgeous. And I really want to dive into it and learn more about the writing in the background. So that's definitely one that I'm going to be researching. I love Justice. It's really beautiful. The Hermit is really great too. All of the major Arcana cards are fantastic. The Emperor, which is my Zodiac Birth card, is really great. And then my favorite card, probably in the entire deck, is the Magician. He is just so cool. You still get the as above, so below. You know, you have the different elements represented. It's just, it's so good. So yeah, that is The True Black Tarot by Arthur Wang. As always, you'll find all of the details in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. Let me know in the comments if you have this deck, what your thoughts about it are. I love hearing from you guys. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to post them below or send me an email. As always, thank you so much for your love and your support. It means the world to me. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to come out and hang out with me and look at tarot cards. So, as always, remember, everyone's fighting a battle you know nothing about. So be kind, always. Bye, everybody.